And the beautiful backdrop is set. We're ready to go racing.
I'm getting too close to the line.
All right, go with it then. Run the line.
Talk to me, how long?
As I've always been told, Tess, it's a game of inches today, a game of millimetres for these SuperFoilers.
Racing.
And there's the start of Busselton. Pavement out on the left. Tech 2 quite advanced off the start.
Going here, boys. Right, we've got 2 boards down as well, lads. Go board up.
Listening to Phil Robertson.
That's way below par.
A little bit more weight on max wing, max sheet. You get the sheet as well.
And Record Point, they didn't have the best start, so they've opted to tack onto port and head out towards the jetty on the far right to look for pressure.
Already a different strategy.
Where's the wind here, Sam? Yeah.
Such a delicate game in this really light air. They've got to get their heads out of the boat and look to where the pressure's coming from.
Parko and everyone's falling away.
It's going to be really close here, Tess. We can see that Pavement's made a good start. Tech 2 behind them, and ID and perhaps a little building sniff at the moment for Paul Campbell, James and co.
Cleanmate's got a nice lane on the inside there. Confident, more pressure's coming.
Think forget about your trap until we're all up top, maybe. Just go right up on that beam.
Steve
Up,
Thomas.
I'm dragging that lure down hard. That's it. That's that.
Great stuff there from Tech 2's Luke Parkinson. He's not happy with the minor adjustments they need to be making to get all the weight forward on the SuperFoiler in such light breeze. This makes racing almost impossible for these highly tuned machines.
Okay, on max weight here, lads.
On board Team ID.
Up you come, Fang.
Kinley Fowler on the bow for the first time.
I want to go fast towards this next bit of pressure, okay? So I've got no issue reaching.
Several different strategies in search of the wind. Jack McCartney, where's the wind coming from? How are the sailors going to decode this?
Yeah, it's a little bit further in the left and a slight build out here, Nick. So I think the guys here behind me, Pavement and the Tech 2 are getting to the New Breeze first. But having said that, the Cleanmate looks in a nice high mode and actually holding nice position on the race course. But just the New Breeze filtering in right now. So we'll see him get up and going.
Jack, an adrenaline junkie by day and clearly braving things without a life jacket. Surprising to see, Tess, with the conditions like they are.
Yeah, it's really tricky out there, Nick, and you can see the hulls. They're trying to get the windward and the leeward hull even distances above the water so that the waterline through the centre hull is at its maximum here, and you can see any bit of increase in breeze is just going to accelerate these boats, and they're all looking on board to get them up and foiling. And Pavement and Tech 2, they're coming into a bit more breeze out on the left here.
And it looks like Tech 2's made the most of it. They've caught it early and they roll over the top of Pavement. Jack, this is a big move so early on. How did they do it?
Yeah, so that's the new pressure that I was talking about, and they're first to it. Tech 2's nailed it here, so they'll push right out to a boundary and then come in on a lay, I'd be expecting. And now Pavement just getting into the new pressure as well.
The SuperFoilers need 6 to 7 knots of breeze to be able to foil, so we're just under that at the moment, but you can see as they get that 7-8 knot gust, they just double in boat speed with acceleration. So there's lots of opportunities on this racetrack to make big gains if you can get in the pressure.
What do you reckon? Straight, left turn, dive on it.
Record Point, who had the worst start and tacked onto port, has now got a big righty and is fully up and going. So actually it's going to be pretty tight up the top of the course, I think.
Nathan Outeridge, you're on the sidelines at the moment with Euroflex out. It must be hard to watch Record Point string it together in tricky conditions at the moment.
Trimming in here, boys. Next trim. Yeah. Way forward.
But you know this is not easy going. This is super tough stuff, Nathan, and it's all about to get harder. Is that fair to say?
Obviously, a lot's happening at this upwind, but I think the race is really about getting downwind. These boats are much harder to sail downwind than they are upwind, and I think it looks like Record Point's already around the top mark here, so that right-hand side of the course has paid off.
There's good pressure at the top of the course, and Cleanmate coming in close behind Record Point on that port lay for the left turn.
He's driving. We got to do the same. We will have boats. 2, 1.
So fascinating to hear from Olivia Price as she plans to keep an eye on Record Point.
I'm not out. I'm going forwards, ready?
And we can see a nice little battle as well between the other SuperFoilers.
Working hard here.
We've got this way that we can foil.
Yeah. Wait, big string. Hit it. Everyone, and forwards.
In this light breeze, it's critical you make the most of any little pressure increase to get your boat speed up.
I'm very, very close to going here, lads.
And you've got to stay a bit ambitious too and a bit hopeful that the breeze will come and pick up.
Record point is not going to be that far in front now.
No.
Just drive back across.
Okay, 4 boards now, Sam.
Tech 2 confident they're making some gains on record point. They're going downwind to get through the middle gate towards the bottom marks.
Nathan, how is this all unfolding, mate?
This race course is a tricky one. It's so light, you can't foil sometimes, but then you get a little puff, and if you can use that breeze to get up and going, you can be around the bottom mark before anyone moves. So it's nice to be in the lead right now, but I think the guys behind almost might have the advantage as they come around the top of the course here.
Keep an eye on my VMG here with Tech 2, okay? I think bow's coming down.
So VMG, that's the best balance between your distance sailed with the best boat speed.
Is this that mode that we're in before, mate?
No, it's all right. We're still flying here. We're doing really good stuff on record point here. I think it's a header. Weight in.
Yep, good knocking out.
Big ease on all the gear. Ease trap.
A header, so the breeze has gone right.
Luke Parkinson saying they're positively flying. He's the kind of pilot I want when I'm in bad altitude.
Okay, I'm scared of... Okay, bow's coming down a little here. Nice and easy sailing here, lads. As we talked about, VMG mode, okay?
Hardly turbulent, Tess. Nice and smooth.
Yeah, you can see the main sheet and the bowman standing up, looking for the new breeze coming from behind, and onboard clean
Steve's
made.
just gone 3 point, but like low ride.
These sailors haven't done a lot in this light breeze, so they're still trying to figure out the best technique to get downwind.
You look out there right now and no one's really moving that fast. These two guys are heading towards the jetty there, and they're going to have to jibe over pretty soon. It's a really hard boat to sail when it's light, not in terms of keeping the thing upright, but just trying to keep it moving. You can see them, you know, walking around the boat very carefully, and look at them all looking backwards. They're looking for that breeze. Until they get a puff of breeze, you could basically stop and have a picnic and wait for the next puff to come through.
Remember the 2 lengths from the jetty?
Such a privilege to have Nathan, our series leader, sharing the insights out there as we see Sam Newton couldn't be any further forward. He's just reclining there.
Standby jibe here.
It's such a risk out on the course. You know, you can't get from one side to the other very quickly, so it's a bit of a lottery game, Nick, as to is the pressure going to come in from the jetty or out on the Fremantle side?
Real good one. Stay low. Low will get you in it.
Copy.
I know it hurts.
Yep.
A lot of guessing going on out there at the moment.
When we're bored up here.
Windward board up.
Yeah.
Teammate is on good angles there. We're high at the moment.
Lockie Gilmore on a great angle as well. He's almost cleaning the camera for us.
Okay, I like this angle. Move forward if you can.
The weight forward's going to lengthen that middle waterline. Less drag.
It's not as bad as what I thought it was. I think we've gone through like a bad...
I'm getting good pressure here. Yeah, I think it was a bad transition. Pavement's well out on that right, that downwind, coming up just a little. Just got waves from that media boat.
Not sure I'd trust Olivia Price when I was out fishing there.
A bit higher.
A lot of tall stories coming from her about breezes that just aren't there.
Interesting. I think we keep going here and let it set up and...
This convergence back of the fleet's going to be interesting, Nick.
Yeah, look, it's looking better and better for a jibe, eh?
The top speed of the boats right now are probably 4 or 5 knots. They're not really going that quick, so you're probably better off to do a few jibes to find the right position. But once you're up and foiling, you really can't, you know, do too many maneuvers. And, you know, I think these guys are just trying to use this jetty. Maybe there's a bit of wind funneling down here, but it's really a game of inches at the moment.
Or it could be, Nathan, that Luke Parkinson, he's a West Australian native. He wants to get close to the Busselton jetty and say good day to his family and friends who've journeyed down here to watch him put on a show, and he's promised to do that today.
Just staying low, weight in.
And it looks like Pavement's absolutely sending it, Tess.
Yeah, they must have found pressure out on that Fremantle side.
Just keep an eye on that main lock, don't let me stall.
Stevie's foiling out the other side of the course.
And that's going to seem rapid for our race leader. They've just been rolled, actually. And now Pavement's taking the lead ahead of Cleanmate and Record Point in third, with Tech 2 in fourth. It can all happen in the blink of an eye. More racing up next. Superb sailing from Clean Made. They're in second at the moment.
Driving, 2.
And it looks like that lead that Steve might have got might evaporate here very quickly. That's just how quickly things can change. In 1 minute you're not moving, next minute you're doing 15 knots.
Olivia on board Clean Made's doing a great job of linking the jibes with the pressure together, and these guys are close to sailing through the middle gate. You can see the yellow committee boat, that black and white checkered mark. They're on the first downwind here, through the gate towards the bottom marks.
I don't know. Where's the next pressure?
Back.
Driving, 2, 1.
And that's the target. They want to try and get ahead of Pavement, who's currently in the lead. Amazing comeback from them after a nasty knock.
Need lift in that board house as soon. I got it now.
You can see how much easier these boats are to jibe when you're foiling. So when you've got a bit of boat speed, that's the time when you can really link your manoeuvres together and make big gains.
But the boat speed test is going to be affected by the crew weight, the weight of the personnel on board. In light breezes, physics comes into it. These heavier boats will be like having a sumo wrestler on a thoroughbred horse. It's just not going to work.
What's next? What's next? Coffee?
And for Clean Made, their DEXA body scan indicates they're one of the lightest.
Lighter, lot lighter.
They are a lot lighter.
Coffee.
And that's going to play into their hands really nicely here. Less weight equals more speed, and they're just milking it. They're in the lead now and absolutely romping along.
Copy.
Clean Mate's been able to get some great depth on this downwind. They've had such a good run line in this pressure here, and now Pavement's in that same line.
Trab up a little, maybe. No hold.
I think we need more weight.
No, happy with the weight. Coming up.
So it's a long way away. The marks. This is the right-hand mark here.
Yeah, and it'll be a big turn up, so go past Liv.
Well,
The other one's a lot closer.
There is pressure inside.
Copy.
In this lighter breeze, the teams have got a lot more time to communicate what strategy they're going to have coming into the marks.
Where's my angle? Where's my angle?
London Olympic silver medalist Olivia Price just wanting more intel there from her crew, asking Harry Morton and Josh McKnight to give her more info. And she's loving her time at the front. We haven't seen her lead too many SuperFoiler races.
Not yet, not yet. Setting up. 2, 1.
And picking that final lay line into the bottom mark, and a bit too much lift going into that jibe, just a touchdown and preparing for the roundup.
Copy.
Around the right mark.
You get the tool, Liv, you get the tool.
Yeah, it's okay.
These two teams have got a good little puff and have just jumped away from the fleet.
And it could be a wonderful time, Nathan, to catch the other SuperFoilers napping, put serious meters into them and close the gate and earn more points. It'll be a real moment to exploit for these two, and they're going to absolutely go for it.
That's the beauty of sailing. There's no right or wrong way to do it. There's lots of options around the course. You can do 15 jibes down the middle in one little puff, or you can go to the corners. You can get there at the same time. So these guys have had different approaches, but they've really gapped the fleet. You can see Record Point here got a nice little puff of their own, and they're not out of it either, but it's much, as I was saying before, it's a lot more difficult to sail these boats downwind than it is upwind. And I think when they come back up the course, not much will change, but I think downwind is where the big lead changes come.
Sailing in this super light air and also in extreme windy conditions is the hardest skill level to have, and there's so much concentration required and communication and being able to preempt what's going to happen and stay nice and calm and patient to get the boats around the course.
maybe got more lift in it.
I think that next one's kind of...
And the boats are enjoying the bit more breeze that has filled in now. They're able to foil for a higher percentage of the time.
I'm staying in lock. Big knock there. Weight right in.
Moving your weight around accurately, keeping it forward in the boat is critical.
And Tess, it looks like Pavement may have just slid past Clean Made there.
Yeah.
This breeze has lightened off again here, Nick, so we're back to the patience game.
Knocking, knocking, knocking.
On heaven's door, perhaps, hoping for an answer.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to keep squeezing. Yeah. No, agreed. Happy with that.
The breeze is knocking, so Clean Made's trying to stay in high mode, not to lose too much distance against Pavement.
I'm getting lifted at the moment.
Pavement calling they're being lifted. Clean Made saying they're being knocked, Nick.
It's just so interesting to see the different battles, some of them, their own mental battles happening out there.
Are we on the low side of stall? Should I? Yeah, big knot. But it's going to be a big lift here, I assume.
Yeah, it's going to come back up.
East jib, east jib. Yeah, nice. Happy there.
It's really easy for the sails to stall out.
Here we go. It's a big shift here on these guys, eh?
When the sail stalls, you need to ease the sheet, get a bit of depth and reattach the flow so you can rebuild your boat speed.
And given these boats are in different pressures at the moment, that can close the gap.
Yeah, agree. Copy that. Yeah, bow's coming down. Here we go.
Pretty quickly, and that gives boats like Record Point, who were moments ago not in the contest, all of a sudden a chance to come charging through. And Phil Robertson likes his chances of doing exactly that to our front runners, Clean Made in first, and Pavement 30 metres behind them.
Yeah.
There's not much in the distances at all between these teams, and the breeze has really lightened off. The boats are not foiling anymore, and you can see the bowmen, Harry Morton, Kinley Fowler on board Team ID, getting their weight really far forward.
We kind of lost our opportunity on that gust, unfortunately. We kind of lost our opportunity jabbing for that gust, but there's nothing anyway, so there's a bit going behind us now, but...
Well, the only good thing about this slow going for Paul Campbell James is that the Brit can have a close-up look at some of the delights of the Busselton waterways, and about all that's going on Pavement.
Yeah, he's just decided to bear away now.
Is a chance for Lockie Gilmore to work on his yoga.
Pretty much a race to this gate at the moment, guys, I think. Yeah. Let's take a short-term gain if we can get it.
Continue past. Oh, actually, there's one building on that jetty.
It's all in the audio at the moment, isn't it?
Do you agree?
Used to the high-frequency whistle.
You want to be first there, yeah?
Yeah.
And now you can virtually hear the tumbleweeds of doubt.
Yep.
Bear away 10 degrees if you have to.
Help the jibbies, please.
Who's going to make the master call here in this massive guessing game?
That's probably a good angle.
Like literally, Clean Made has stopped. Stevie may be going backwards.
Starting to feel a little.
Not sure if that's on our data.
Don't want to be greedy, but I'm starting to feel a little.
You want to hold Steve out for tacking.
He's going to tack in that lift. We're going to have to
But
preempt
Steve
what's
looks like
going on.
he is going nowhere fast.
If we tack now, we won't lay the finish.
Yeah, agreed.
The sweat is on. The racing continues next.
Shack tack lock.
Yep.
Shack tack lock. Tess, we do know the chat around the boat park with shack tack
Oh, we've got to kind of go, don't we?
is a tack where you can't get on the foils.
Shack tack. Let's just run the gauntlet. We might have to take back, but so be it.
A down speed manoeuvre.
Oh, here we go.
And slowly rolling into it. This is going to be
Go behind them then.
painful.
What do you reckon, or should we tack back?
They're going to have to bear away behind Clean Made. That was an expensive manoeuvre. The shack tack just wasn't working for them, Nick.
No, sometimes Shack isn't there to play, and he's putting up the rebound as we've just seen there.
But he's going to be on the wrong tack, sailing it. Just get ready to run, boys. Yeah.
The boats are tacking up the middle of the course. They've got to go through that middle gate on their way to their top mark for the second time.
Wait right forward, guys. I just can't steer. I've got no steering.
And while that didn't happen at pace, it would have hurt as Pavement
Okay.
fall behind Clean Made. We've got a new race leader, and Pavement's turn to chase.
Attacking. Get the board.
Wow, auto tack on board Clean Made.
Get the board up. Come on.
Big left shift on the course. They've just lifted on the inside and made huge gains on Pavement.
Yours?
And at a critical time, the race committee have opted to shorten the course with the light breeze out here, so the boats are racing up to the middle gate for the finish.
We need to press, boys. We need to go fast. Foiling.
And it is going to be a duel
This is the finish.
all the way to the line.
Where's the best breeze? Where is the best breeze?
The intensity on board, there's only 10 metres in it between the battle for first and second.
Are we trying to foil?
And at this stage, forget about foiling, Liv. Just get to that finish line. We've got bragging rights and serious points up for grabs. It's the fastest there that'll take it.
Pressure on this blocky in 3. Yeah, come down. We need to get pace first. Okay, wait up. That's it. Nice. Press on it, boys. Press on it. Yeah, let's go. Don't worry about the line yet.
Steve Thomas will rate his chances here.
What's going to get us to the line first? It's not attack.
But Olivia's certainly not giving up. No one's blinking. Everyone's eyeing off that finish.
Very even here. The outcome's going to be determined from where the pressure comes in.
That's right. They're going to point at us.
He's trying to foil. Is it worth attack soon?
Will be, yeah. I think it's way closer. There we go. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Stretch.
And clean made.
Rolling. Shark tack.
Rolling into attack.
You're board up.
The mode they decide to sail is just so important.
Press, press, press. Have a good pass.
You put the bow down if you want to try and foil, but if you don't think you can foil, you stick with the high mode.
Tess, its foot to the floor, a massive scramble to the line here. Clean Maiden, Pavement going toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano. And I think Clean Mate's just had the heartbreaking realisation that Pavement will take the spoils in this our opener.
Good work, guys. Holy moly. That was, tacking over again.
Well, there we go. We've just had confirmation that the winner is Pavement by the slimmest of margins.
Good stuff, guys.
Nice.
Good race, guys.
And Josh McKnight just lifting the mood on board Clean Made. They've got plenty more races to go and they're sailing really well in the light conditions.
Continuing? Yep, continuing.
Listening to Luke Parkinson there, that's Tech 2. They're eyeing off a third place finish at a home regatta.
I think we just keep ourselves between them and the finish.
Exactly.
Stand by tacking here.
And Jack is standing by. He's got the winner of our opening race of the day.
Thanks, Nick. Here with Steve Thomas. First win on the SuperFoiler Grand Prix. That was a very tricky race. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Jack. Super tricky.
Good battle with Liv.
They had a good start with that little right-hander, and from there it was, you know, you had to play the long game, and we were just thinking, oh, well, what can we do in 5 minutes time that's going to get us ahead, not 20 seconds like you, or even 10 seconds like you normally do.
So you went halfway to Fremantle and back out there on the first run down when that got you right back into the race.
Yeah, we're just chasing some puff. Obviously, getting up on the foil, you make massive gains. You're doing, 5 or 10 to 1 on the boats that aren't foiling. So, yeah, we chased that puff. That got us back in the game, and from there it was just a bit of, consolidation on Olivia.
So the big stack yesterday must have shaken you into some good form.
Yeah, look, it hasn't really affected our sailing in this light wind because, a few bruises and that don't really affect you until you're having to work hard, and that stuff's more of a mental game than a physical one.
Well done. That's a great performance for the first race. Good luck for the rest of the day.
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
Tech 2 keeping things cool. They sealed third position there.
We played those shifts all right there. He played the card. Yeah, just saying, he played his cards out that way probably the best, and I think we did the best the other way.
A few pats on the back there for Tech 2, and Record Point will be patting their backs. They've finished fourth.
Nice one, lads.
I've got Olivia here with me, second place getter. Just let the Pavement slip through there at the end. What happened?
Yeah, it was really tricky going up that last work. We thought we'd had a little bit more pressure. So we wanted to protect the right. It just looked like there was a little bit of wind filtering down from the jetty. We got that one wrong and it ended up coming from the left. So we got the first cross. Pavement had to duck us, but then, he just was able to sail on the favoured tack a little bit longer.
Once again, you had that downwind mode just going beautifully with the two boards. I still think you're the best at it in the fleet. You went for a middle of the pack, sort of up the top of the course to a leading position.
Yeah, downwind is our strength at the moment. We were just, focusing on our own mode and really good communication within the team to just figure out where the pressure was. Once we found that, we were up and away. So did a cracker of a foiling jibe over on the pier for all the spectators. So, happy with that one.
Last question. It's going to be up and down, it looks like, throughout the day. What's the key to winning the next race?
Oh, it's definitely clean-made conditions. So we're just going to try and sail in phase and really work together as a team. It seemed to work quite well in that first race. So let's see what the rest of the day brings.
Great stuff, Liv. Thanks.
Thanks, Jack.
Olivia Price flashing her megawatt smile. Captain consistent there. Clean made in second. With Pavement, a first win in the SuperFoiler series for them. For Steve Thomas and co, they'll be loving every minute. Tech 2, third in their home regatta. That'll be something to look forward to as we spool through some of the highlights of our Saturday opener.